Have you ever started to read a book and not know what the book was about? Suppose you opened up a book and it began like this. Socrates, I went down to the Piraeus yesterday with Glaucon, son of Ariston, to pray to the goddess, and at the same time I wanted to observe how they would put on a festival, since they were holding one for the first time. What if you began a book and that was the first line? Now, you might know a couple of things in the beginning, such as, well, it's a book that's got a character named Socrates in it, and maybe you know a little bit about Socrates yourself, and you know that he is in a sort of narrative about to go down to pray to a particular goddess. But as you would read this book, you'd soon realize that this book is massive in detail and in scope, and there's a lot of things that you don't really understand, and you're trying to read it as a modern reader, and you're just kind of lost. Well, that's how it's like when reading the Bible. I was just reading Plato's Republic. So maybe it's a book that you've read at high school or in college at some point, and that opening line doesn't tell you very much about what the book is about. When we read books without getting a good sense of the context, it's really hard for us to get into the book. But if we've got a friend who says, oh man, you got to read this book, you know, it's got a lot of war, it's got a lot of fighting in it, or it's got a great love story, then we go, oh, I want to read this book. But sometimes what we do when we look at the book of the Bible, we open it up and we have no idea what's going on. And that's something we have to change. Hi, I'm Abe, and this is BibleCraft, and I want to help you study the Bible for yourself. And today we're looking at how to overview a book. Getting an overview of the book is so important because if we don't know what a book is about, we're not going to be drawn to it. We might say, oh, you know, it's a story about God, and that's always true in the Bible. But what are the particular questions or topics that this book addresses that I want to look at as I'm looking for the book? And a lot of times we can figure those things out because lots of people have written all kinds of great things about the Bible that help us understand what it's about. So I want to give you 4 different things that will help you as you begin to read and study a book of the Bible. Number 1, find some help. Get an outline. Find some sort of introduction to the book. If you've got a study Bible, a lot of times the beginning sentences of the book that's there are written by the authors of this particular Bible that want to help you, give you some background information that's extremely helpful in figuring out what the book is about. Or you could read online about different outlines that people have to kind of see, okay, here's what's happening in each chapter, here's the main ideas of the book, here's how the book is structured. That's also extremely helpful. Another great resource that I've been using is a YouTube series called The Bible Project. They create small videos about each book of the Bible, and they give you some of the main ideas, and it's very engaging and interactive, and I really encourage you to go check those guys out and all the different books of the Bible that they cover. When you got a good outline or you got a good overview of the book, then you're ready to begin to read the book, because now you kind of go, okay, here's what it's about, here's some of the ideas that I can be looking for, and it'll help you begin to jump into the book when the beginning of it is kind of hard to understand. So get one of those outlines or get one of those introductions, and your Bible study will really benefit. The second thing you can do is read it through completely. Sometimes in our Bible studies and in my own, you just want to read your portion that you're studying and not seeing it with the context of the entire book. That's extremely helpful to do. And when you do it in the beginning, then you can just get the whole story really quick, and it might take you anywhere from 15 minutes to maybe an hour or two to read through the book, but it'll help you in the long run. And don't be so worried about circling things or you know, cross-referencing some ideas that you might have or different passages. Just read it through. Great thing you can do then is to get a little note card, maybe a 3x5 or a 4x6 if you're serious, and write down the introduction of the book in your own words in that, and write down maybe a main theme that you think the book is about. And then you can use that to work through your book and have this little note card, maybe as a good bookmark even, to have as you're working through it. And after you've read through the book and have summarized your main theme and the outline and the introduction, then you can begin to ask questions about the book. One of the great things that we can do as we're studying our Bibles, or any book in particular, is have a good set of questions. Go interrogate that book. Figure out what's going on. Mortimer Adler, in his great book, How to Read a Book, talks about the importance of having good questions to ask the book. You know, things like, what's this book about? And if this book's about whatever it is, so what? Who cares? Asking those questions are important for us as we look at the Bible or any other book as well. The fourth thing to do, and the last thing, is to read through it often. The reason why I say this is because you're going to have your nice summary, you're going to have some good questions you want to ask about the text. but maybe you haven't been asking the right questions, or maybe your summary, your outline as you begin to read the text is small, or not well developed, or it's got some wrong conclusions in it, and you want to kind of go back and say, no, the book wasn't about that, it was about this thing over here, and I was saying it was more focused on this person, but as I began to read, it's not really focused on this group of people, it's focused on these people over here. And reading through it and challenging what you've already written is helpful to begin to understand what the book is about. Always begin to say, okay, is this really what it's about? And can I improve on my learning a little bit better? Make you a powerful student of the Bible. That's basically what it means to overview a book. So next time what I'm going to do is show you how to study through a section of the Bible. And what I'll do is what you've probably maybe known as the inductive Bible study method, or the observation, interpretation, application section. And we'll kind of go through that in a simple way, but then the next videos will kind of jump into each of those and how to work through those steps of observation, interpretation, and application. So that's all I've got for today. I really appreciate you guys watching this. And if you can, leave a comment or like and subscribe to this channel as I begin to create more videos on how to help you study the Bible for yourself.